Yo, what's up, peeps? How y'all doing today? Hope everybody out there is doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by. As we all know, crafting raid weapons can definitely be a little bit of a chore, to say the least, because you gotta go through RNG and you gotta do the content, but is definitely worth doing, right? Especially because the most two recent raids, Val Disciple and King's Fall, the actual weapons that you can craft from them, the actual perk pools of these raid weapons are just insane and are very, very top tier. Look at things like Forbearance, Cataclysmic, and then King's Fall really has a lot of good primaries. You got things like this beautiful Doom of Chelchis scout rifle. Zali's Bane in this game is actually insanely good, and then the Smite Rain retains its greatness from D1 into this game, which brings us to the topic of today's video, that being the actual scout rifle from King's Fall that you can go ahead and craft, being none other than the Doom of Chelchis, a void 180 RPM scout rifle. Keep in mind that all of these King's Fall raid weapons do have the same origin trait called Runneth Over, where whenever you reload this weapon near teammates, you're going to overflow the magazine. The more teammates around you when reloading, the greater the boost to the magazine size. Now, if we go ahead and pull up the actual perk pool for this specific weapon, you'll see that just at a first glance, right, just looking at it, you see there's some just goddamn juicy ass combinations that you can go about crafting here. If you go ahead and look at the third column, we have things like rangefinder, steady hands, adaptive munitions, stats for all, explosive payload, firefly, and Vorpal weapon. Then in the fourth column, to start things off, we have things like Eye of the Storm, good PvP perk, Unrelenting, solid, Repulsor Brace, which is a void build style perk, real niche, but I mean it's an option. However, we got things like One for All, then we got Frenzy, we have Focus Fury, and then Dragonfly. Okay, we see that there are a lot of cool combinations you can go about doing, right? Obviously there's some niche ones that you can do, Firefly and Dragonfly. I did a video with that combo initially. It's a pretty cool combo. There's no other gun that can roll both Firefly and Dragonfly at the same time. I just find that roll not to be the most practical for most scenarios. That being said though, I totally have a normal version of this scout with that roll. I was lucky and had that bitch drop for me during a run, so I kept it. You also have the double damage roll with things like Vorpal and Focus Fury, but primary weapon, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna craft that. Adaptive munitions is always solid. And then we got things like explosive payload, right? In the third column, absolute juicer perk. Frenzy in the fourth. You could do things like explosive payload and One for All, amazing damage combo. You could do like Firefly Frenzy, that's always a pretty nice roll. Stats for all, One for All, adaptive munitions, One for All. Now for me personally, the roll that I went ahead and went up crafting is explosive payload and then Frenzy. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna prefer One for All over Frenzy. However, for me, the more that I've used Frenzy as a perk on a lot of other weapons, the more that I've just really enjoyed it. And the main reason why is that along with the damage bonus that it gives you, that extra boost to your handling and your reload speed is just very noticeable and very much so welcome, especially on a lot of weapons, like on your main primary things like your hand cannons, SMGs, scout rifles, even on LMGs. But you combine Frenzy with another beautiful perk and an explosive payload, absolute amazing combo, which is what I ended up deciding on. Now that being said, you see the perk pool, you have so many amazing options to pick from. For me personally, I only have two void scouts that I ever even use, the other one being the Pointed Inquiry, which is a 150 RPM scout rifle, which serves an entirely different purpose with things like adaptive munitions and shoot to loot. But if you are able to get in raid runs and get these patterns for these raid weapons, I would recommend getting the Doom of Chelchis roll, or rather the Doom of Chelchis pattern, mainly because dude, there's just so many amazing options, and especially for void scout rifles, this is definitely a S tier choice, bro.